Welcome back to Steel City Drones. I'm Dave, and this is
Andrew.
And Andrew, it's Tuesday. What does that mean?
It means it's free Tech Tip Tuesday.
Right. So, we've been getting questions about why aircraft and drones just fall out of the sky unexpectedly. It is a very common theme that happens quite often. With that said, why does it happen? Is it just something that is a drone manufacturer defect? Is it an engineering flaw? Or is it pilot error? Again, I see a lot of calls. We have looked at social media posts and they'll say, I don't know what happened. I had the drone flying on this beautiful sunny day. The drone was 250 feet high and everything looked good. And all of a sudden, it just fell out of the sky. And if that doesn't happen, they'll say that maybe it gets down to all of a sudden from 65 down to 5%. And they don't have enough time to get it on the ground before it just completely goes out of power.
Yep.
So why does it happen? So it all comes down to drone batteries. And it doesn't matter if it's the size of this or this drone battery right here, which is a Mavic battery, or even this, which is an Enterprise drone battery right here that can get up to over 40 minutes of flight time. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter the manufacturer or who makes the drone. All of the theories that we're going to talk about in this video are relevant to any drone that you either have or would be buying.
Yep.
Now, there are some different features and functionality of how they work and stuff, and some have actual heaters inside them. But for what the purpose of what we're going to talk about is all the same. Let's say this is a bad battery. It won't look bad. Now, there's some batteries that will swell and maybe deform a little bit. However, most batteries now don't do that. They will look okay. They won't smell burnt. And when you put it in the charger, it'll say it's up to 100%. And that's the problem that many people have, because it's really hard to identify when you have a bad battery. And it all comes down to really 4 main causes why drone batteries fail. Let's go ahead and talk about each of the 4. When we have a healthy battery, I'd like to see it have what's called a discharge curve, like something that you're seeing on your screen. And it's nice and linear. And what that means is it has the same amount of flight time from 100% down to 90%, 80 to 70, 50 to 40, 30 to 20, etc., all the way down. That's a very healthy battery. However, when we get a bad battery, and battery goes bad, normally they're not defective. Normally, I would say if we had 100 batteries, 99 of them, maybe 98 of them will be good. It's not very often do we get a battery that's defective. And if it's defective, it's going to be defective right away, meaning as soon as you open it up. When we have a bad battery, that discharge curve will now look like something that you see on your screen, where it shows 100% and the curve starts to go good, but somewhere about the 65, 60, 55% range, it just falls off like a cliff. And that's kind of why people see what they see when they're flying a drone. So what causes that? So I have a lot to say on this subject. In fact, if you looked at our online Drone Pros Essential course, we talked for almost a full hour on battery health,
Yep.
maintenance, and everything you want to know about batteries. So what I'm going to do in this video is try to basically summarize that video for you in about 7 to 8 minutes. So there are 4 main reasons why drone batteries fail. The first one is flying your drone too long and landing it with too little reserve power remaining. What we always recommend doing is getting on the ground by 20%. That means I also like to set my low battery remaining warnings around 35%. And that gives us enough time to say, well, maybe we're at 1,000 feet away, and that gives us enough time to be able to get back and down on the ground without rushing it recklessly. So that gives us plenty of time. We want to be on the ground by 20%. And that's how I always gauge new drones as far as flight time goes. What is the amount of realistic flight time from 100% to 20%? We don't just take it down to try to land by 5% remaining or virtually anything. That will not work because it generates heat. So the longer the drone is in the air, it's going to drain the power out of the battery, and that is going to create a heat exchange. And that heat exchange then is going to cause the battery to get hotter the longer it's in flight. We want to go ahead and make sure that the battery is not going to exceed 125 degrees. Now, on some drones, you're going to be able to see in the flight app what the battery temperature is. But in some drones, you won't have that, which is why another reason you want to land by 20%. And what I would do is I would take a heat gun when it lands at 20% and gauge what that temperature is if you don't have it in your app. It's really, really important. I was very blessed and had the right fortunate timing to really have a good conversation with a major drone manufacturer engineer that had a lot to say and how these drone batteries were developed and the theory behind a lot of things. And that's where this 125 degree threshold comes into. Now, there's a lot of other factors that go into that as far as an example, temperature, humidity, dew point. The higher that is, the faster it's going to get to the threshold. We, in our practice facility in Fort Myers, Florida, in the winter months, when it's 83 degrees outside and the temperature and humidity is very high, we can actually get to 125% with as much as 35% battery remaining on some of the less engineered batteries. So it's really important that we pay attention to our flight times and try to monitor your battery temperatures as best you can. There are a lot of newer drone batteries like this one right here that are made to dissipate heat a lot better than others. Like this battery right here does not dissipate heat very well. That's the number one thing. Flying the drones down too low to try to get too much flight time out of it. Everybody does it. I just need one more shot. I just need to get one more video clip, and then it turns into another 5 to 7 minutes, and before you know it, it's 8% remaining by the time that the drone's on the ground, which is definitely a big problem. Now, the number 2 cause for why drone batteries go bad is that the drone that sits in a closet for a long period of time, 6 months, a year,
2 years,
whatever have you, and that's the batteries going dormant can be very, very bad. They develop a memory. You can potentially charge them to 100%. They'll say they're charged, but then you get into that unhealthy discharge curve very quickly, or the actual battery is just dead. And we get calls about that as well. My battery is just dead. Is there any way to jolt it back to life? The answer is no. You can't do it. It's bad. It's unhealthy. Can you potentially put a gigantic Band-Aid on it to possibly get it back up and running again? Yes, it could happen. There are techniques to do that. We're not going to recommend it, and we're not going to talk about them because there's never going to be a good outcome for it. So if we get to that point, we just have to suck it up and say, okay, I got to buy a new battery. I know the batteries can be bad. They can be very expensive.
Yep.
But would you rather buy a new drone battery or take the chance of like flying your drone over a city that has a lot of cars, moving vehicles, and people? I know that nobody would want to do that. So got to go ahead and just buy a battery if that's the case. The third reason why drone batteries fail is because we're flying them in cold weather and the drone batteries are not at room temperature when we put the battery on the drone. Let's use a situation where it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside. If we just have our drone case outside with us and now we start flying the batteries, we land 30 minutes later, the rest of those batteries are now going to be at the outside room temperature, which is 30 degrees. And if we now put this on the aircraft, we have a lot of problems. So let me break that down, what the problems are. There is a really good chart that I was gifted to that an engineer gave me. And it's a correlation of overall ambient temperature and what's called the C value in relationship to the actual capacity of the battery. What that means is the colder the battery is, that means it has a lot less capability of charge inside the battery. And it can be as much as only 40% of its normal capability of charge. So if this has the ability to hold 10,000 milliamps of charge, as an example, that can be down to as much as 3,500 to 4,000 when it says it's 100%. And then we still have that discharge curve that can just go down and drop off very, very quickly. So the remedy to that is to make sure that in the winter months when you need to fly, keep your batteries in your vehicle with the heat on there where it's at room temperature and pull them out one at a time as you need them. That's a great tip on how to be able to fly in the cold months. So that's a very big thing to take into consideration. And then the last one is where drone operators keep the batteries at fully charged either all the time or too long. And what that means is the batteries should only be kept at fully charged state for no more than 2 days. And then they have to be started to be discharged down to a storage voltage. And that storage voltage is somewhere between 50 to 60%. And that storage voltage is what the batteries are at when they come out of the manufacturer, they're boxed up, and then they're shipped out, and they go over on a boat over to the United States, and then they sit in a warehouse until they're sold. That's fine. They're brand new batteries and storage voltage. And that's the proper way when you're not using your batteries to do that. So those are the 4 main reasons why drone batteries go bad, and some of the things that you can do to be able to make sure that your investment in your batteries is going to be well spent and you don't have to be buying new batteries prematurely. You should be able to get at least a minimum 250 to 300 charges out of a good battery, regardless of what type it is. And on enterprise drones, the batteries should be able to get up to 400 charges. And we are able to experience that on our end, well, with our demo units, because we run the heck out of them.
Yep.
So now you might be saying, well, what if I potentially have a bad battery? Or let's say you work for a company where nobody's paying attention to these kinds of things, and nobody's following these guidelines. Well, so there's one major test that you can do. What I would do is I would charge your battery to 100%, and I would get it up in the air no more than about, say, 10 feet, and try to get it to hover over a bush or a small tree. And that way, the worst case scenario happens, the drone battery just completely goes dead, and then the aircraft falls. Well, it'll fall into that bush or the tree and save your aircraft. Now, you may get a broken prop or something like that, and I would not make sure if you could have an interchangeable camera, keep that off as well. But that is a good way to be able to do this test. And then you have a colleague of yours I could have like Andrew next to me, and then he's going to have a timer and a notepad. And he's going to time how long it takes to go from 100% to 90%, 90 to 80, all the way down to 20%. And that way you can check your interval times to make sure they're the same and are very close to being the same. And that way you can really plot your own discharge curve to make sure that they're good. Because you cannot trust the actual overall percentage remaining, because that's nothing more than a best guess algorithm the drone's doing. So with that said, Andrew, we have a lot of training coming up. Why don't you talk about our in-person mapping training?
Okay. So we have 5 more classes for our on-site mapping training, where we will have up to 4 people come in. You'll get taught by Dave here. He'll teach you from the basics of mapping with flight patterns, how to input the data into Terra, how to choose how many pictures you need for your data, and he'll teach you more advanced features as they go up.
Right. Starting from knowing nothing about mapping to doing some very advanced mapping. These are 4-day courses, again, at our Pittsburgh location.
Yep.
And we have 5 different sets of dates between August to October that we have left. We also have our online course for mapping, where we actually have 3 different mapping courses, or you can buy the entire one depending upon how far you want to go down that rabbit hole. And then we have the last thing is the Drone Pro Essential course. And that's teaching you everything about drones and how to fly drones commercially the right way and becoming a really great drone pilot. So for Andrew and myself, thank you again for watching. And until next Tuesday, we'll talk to you soon.